The Tale of Amaka and the Promise. The moon hung bright over the little village of Amaka, where the palm trees whispered secrets at night and the drums echoed during festivals. Clay huts sat like old guardians of the land, smoke curled from kitchens, and the laughter of children often rose into the night. But in the compound of Egui and Amaka, silence lingered. Amaka was the kind of woman whose beauty turned heads and warmed hearts. Her laughter, when it came, was like music, and her kindness stretched to everyone who knew her. Egui, her husband, was a strong, broad-shouldered farmer whose sweat nourished the soil. Together, they were admired, loved, and pitied. For 5 years, their home knew no children. No cries, no playful footsteps, no mess of tiny hands. And in the village, silence was never ignored. At the stream, where women bent low to fill their clay pots, the whispers were sharp and merciless. "Oh, Amaka's womb must be made of stone," one woman sneered, her voice dripping with mockery. "Poor Egui," another added, laughing. 5 years of marriage, and nothing to show for it. If he had chosen Neka, by now he would be surrounded by sons. The laughter carried across the water, stinging Amaka like nettles. She kept her head lowered, filling her pot quickly, but her heart sank deeper with each cruel word. She walked home slowly, tears burning her eyes, her pot heavy on her head, and her sorrow heavier still. When the house was quiet at night, Amaka poured out her pain to the heavens. Kneeling on a woven mat before the small window, she prayed until her voice broke. "Lord," she whispered, "why me? Why do you give children to those who mock me, but not to me? Have you forgotten me? Have you lied to me?" On some nights, anger filled her prayers. On others, her tears were her only words. Egui, ever patient, would lift her into his arms and hold her close. "Amaka," he would say softly, "wipe your tears. God has not forgotten us. His promise never fails. We will wait together." But the word pressed harder. One afternoon, Egui's mother, Mama Obayoma, arrived. She was a proud woman with a sharp tongue, her walking stick tapping the earth as she entered. She looked Amaka up and down with disappointment. "Amaka," she said coldly, 5 years and no child. Do you want my son's name to vanish from the earth? Other women give children, why not you?" Amaka fell to her knees, tears brimming. "Mama, it is not my fault. I pray, I wait. Children come from God, not from me." Mama Obayoma scoffed and turned to her son. "If children come from God, then perhaps God does not hear her voice. Egui, listen to me. Take another wife before it is too late. A man's name must live on." But Egui stood tall, his voice steady. "Mother, no. Amaka is my wife, and she will remain my wife. I will not betray her, and I will not betray my God." His mother hissed, clicked her tongue, and stormed away, leaving behind a trail of silence and tears. Amaka wept bitterly that night, but Egui's words wrapped around her like a shield. Yet the whispers of the village never ceased. Even among her friends, Amaka found little comfort. One afternoon, she sat under the shade of a mango tree with 2 of her closest companions. "Amaka," said the first gently, placing a hand on hers, "do not mind what people say. God's time is the best time. One day, your womb will sing." But the second friend laughed lightly, shaking her head. "My sister, I say this with love, men do not like waiting. If Egui goes outside, what will you do? You cannot hold a man with only love." Amaka's heart tightened. She lifted her chin, her eyes glistening. "Egui is not that kind of man. He made me a promise, and he made God a promise too." Her first friend squeezed her hand again. "Hold on, Amaka. Even the longest night must give way to morning." But temptation was not done with Egui either. One evening, beneath the great Childless tree where men gathered to talk, Egui's friends circled him. They spoke with sly smiles and persuasive tones. My friend once said, slapping his back, "You are still young. Take another wife. Do not let Amaka's empty hands hold your future hostage." Or, another leaned closer, "If you don't want another wife, go outside. Find someone to give you children. What is a man without children?" Their words struck Egwi's ears like arrows. He thought of the laughter of children he longed to hear, the pressure from his family, the mockery at the stream, in the market, in the fields. His heart wavered. But then he remembered. The night of his wedding, when he had knelt by his bed. In that quiet moment, a still, small voice had filled his heart. "Do not be afraid. I will bless your home. Your children will bring joy to many." That memory returned like a shield. Egwi rose to his feet, his voice strong. "Enough. Amaka is my wife, my only wife. I will not betray her, and I will not betray my God. When the time is right, our children will come." His friends scoffed, shook their heads, and walked away. But Egwi stood tall, his faith unshaken. Seasons turned. The rains fell, the harvest was gathered. Amaka still wept, though Egwi's words comforted her. Then one morning, her body felt strange. She could not eat. She could not sweep. Her strength vanished. The midwife, old Momanjidika, was called. Her eyes widened after her examination, and she clapped her hands with joy. "Amaka, woman of favor," she cried. "You are with child." The news spread through Umuaka faster than fire on dry grass. The very same women who had mocked her now sang praises at her door. "Amaka is carrying life," they shouted. "Amaka is blessed." And when the day of birth arrived, the heavens themselves seemed to rejoice. Thunder roared in the distance, the rain fell gently, and in the little clay hut where Amaka labored, two cries rose into the air, one strong, one sweet. A boy. A girl. Twins. Egwi fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. Amaka, weak but radiant, held her babies close and whispered through her tears, "God has remembered me. He has turned my sorrow into laughter." Outside, the village erupted in celebration. Drums thundered, flutes sang, women clapped and ululated, and even the goats bleated as though in joy. From that day, whenever children played in Umuaka, the elders would nod with wisdom and say, "Do you see those twins? They are the promise of God. Never mock a waiting woman, for the one who is mocked today may be the mother of nations tomorrow." And so, Amaka's tale lived on, told by firelight, carried on the wind, passed from lips to ears, a story of faith, love, and a promise fulfilled.